that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to one of the worst mass in the history of the world.
Now, everyone, buckle up, because the buzzsaw that CNN's Kaitlan Collins just walked into is being wielded by Karoline Leavitt.
The president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he...
Oh, this was just another White House news conference, but Kaitlan thought she had a gotcha moment. To put it plainly, it backfired badly. When Karoline tried to corner Kaitlan with a loaded question, anticipating her to stumble, she totally twisted the script and made Kaitlan seem like a beginner. What's best about it? The whole action took place in real time. Pure destruction. No editing, no spin. CNN does not want you to see this. Let me tell you. Fans started disparaging Kaitlan, questioning her suitability for the job, and even making fun of CNN's legitimacy as soon as the recording was made public online. Don't simply believe me, however. The full analysis is on the horizon. 4 more drama-filled, uncensored updates. Hit the like and subscribe buttons before we begin. Have you just registered? Great.
On the freeze in federal funding, who advised the president on the legality of telling government agencies that they don't have to spend money that was already appropriated by Congress?
Well, as the OMB memo states, this is certainly within the confines of the law. So White House counsel's office believes that this is within the president's power to do it, and therefore he's doing it.
Okay, so they disagree with lawmakers who say that they don't have the power to freeze this funding.
Again, I would point you to the language in the memo that clearly states this is within the law.
And all that happened on Friday night. The administration fired several inspectors general without giving Congress the 30-day legally required notification that they were being fired. I think only 2 were left at DHS and the DOJ. And then yesterday we saw several prosecutors, I believe 12, fired from the Justice Department who worked on the investigations into the president. As you know, they are career prosecutors, therefore they are afforded civil service protections. How is the administration deciding which laws to follow and which ones to ignore?
So it is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs, Bureau Protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House was resting on.
You're confident that if they bring lawsuits against you, the prosecutors who were fired, that they will succeed?
We will win in court,
and
yes.
Did he personally direct this, given they worked on the classified documents investigation and the election interference investigation?
This was a memo that went out by the Presidential Personnel Office, and the president is the leader of this White House, so yes. Yes, it came from him.
Let's get going. Let us set the scenario. CNN's Kaitlan Collins still thinks she can take on conservatives, for whatever reason. She thought she could corner Karoline Leavitt with a premeditated, arrogant attack. What a tremendous mistake. Karoline doesn't even blink. Instead, she shuts it down right away and tells Kaitlan the hard truth.
Democrats have been labeling President Trump a to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to one of the worst mass in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political that has led to 2 heinous attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political because he's experienced it himself. In talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father Dick Cheney have got this country into is not political. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans to for decades.
When Kaitlan Collins stutters, the press room becomes silent. There was the sound of a pin falling. At this moment, Kaitlan knows she has been outplayed. Karoline laughs a bit, since this is just too easy. It was literally apparent how terrified Kaitlan's eyes were. It was not the amount of money she had expected.
His opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 attempts. The second attempted on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie, and yes, you will take political like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was an That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I am so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2000.
In only a few minutes, popular hashtags on the internet are going insane. Carolina is the owner of CNN. Kaitlan Collins was embarrassed by it. Kaitlan's predicament is just becoming worse due to CNN's bogus news. CNN is now in a total collapse. They know how terrible this looks. Social media users are sharing videos of Caroline's flawless takedown, raising questions about Kaitlan's credibility. The response from CNN was total hysteria. Silently, they start removing videos from their platforms. To make the article seem nice, their fact-checkers work quickly. To conceal their embarrassment, they do all they can to deflect attention. But it's already too late. Right now, conservatives are taking full advantage of the circumstances. Liberals are admitting that Kaitlan shook their heads and fell into a trap. The irony. In an effort to portray Karoline as unprepared, CNN revealed its own shortcomings. And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse for Kaitlan, it does, really.
A lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage. So I will leave you with this point. This is an example of why it's so incredibly important that the Senate moves swiftly to confirm all of President Trump's nominees, including his nominee for the United States Department of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, who is already speaking with Kevin Hassett, who's leading the economic team here at the White House, on how we can address the egg shortage in this country. As for costs, I laid out the plethora of ways that President Trump has addressed saving costs for the American people over the past week. He looks forward to continuing to doing that.
Really? Now it's your turn. Without even flinching, Karoline gives a beautiful response. Game over. Even CNN's own audience don't trust the lies. It's summed up brilliantly by one Twitter user. Can you imagine being that humiliated in front of the whole country? Karoline ended Kaitlan's career in less than 3 minutes. Now, even CNN's producers are shaking their heads. Kaitlan tried everything and failed miserably just when she thought things couldn't get much worse. It does, really. This is more than just one bad encounter for Kaitlan Collins. This explains why the credibility of the media is declining. In an attempt to convince conservatives to give in, they attack them. Karoline Leavitt just shown that they won't, however. No matter how much they try to distort the reality, America is sick of believing the lies. Karoline just shown how easily they crumble under pressure, despite their pretense of being the smartest people in the room. And now CNN is in chaos, Kaitlan is ashamed, and Karoline is more respected than ever. Now is the real question. Will CNN learn anything from this? Alternatively, will they step up their destructive tactics? Either way, Karoline Leavitt just set a new standard for CNN. That horror won't be able to leave them anytime soon. Alright, everyone, now is your turn. Was this year's most vicious takedown of Karoline's? Did Kaitlan just expose CNN's desperation? And do you think there will ever be a solution to the problem of public trust in mainstream media? Post your thoughts in the space provided for comments below. Before you go, click the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss another amazing takedown. Before you go, click the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss another amazing takedown. We appreciate you watching. See you later.